Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. This is Freight Dog Danny, and I'm on the road again. We're not going anyplace in particular today. I wanted to go through Fort St. Clair, as we've done a few times before, but for some reason the park is closed, so we're going to have to improvise. But the purpose of today's visit is not where we're going, but what we need to discuss. More and more people over 60, or what I like to call seasoned citizens, are getting into e-biking. And there's a lot of considerations that we have to take. You want to make sure it's right for you, and you want to make sure you pick out the e-bike that's right for you. Number one, we have to be concerned about our health. With all of us getting older, some of us have heart conditions, and we certainly don't want to get into anything that's going to overexert you and set you up for a heart attack or a stroke. So if you think you're at high risk for heart attack or stroke, it's probably a good idea to consult with your physician and get cleared to ride. The good part about riding e-bikes is that you can exert yourself as much or as little as you want to. You always have the electric motor with the different levels of pedal assist to take the heat off, so you don't have to exert yourself at all. If you're riding a conventional bike, eventually you're going to get tired and winded, and particularly if you find a hill that's a challenge for you, you're going to really get yourself worn out, and at that point the workout is pretty much over. On an e-bike, you never really get to that point. If you're shifting gears as you increase your pedal assist levels and keep up the resistance, you're still getting exercise. However, the motor kicks in to help you out, and you never get to that point where you're worn out. You get to that hill that looks like it's a challenge, you can either throttle all the way up it or use the pedal assist as well. So you get to the point where you think you're getting tired and winded, your heart rate's getting up too high, just use the throttle or increase your pedal assist level and you'll do okay. If you're looking for a workout, you're going to want to consider the cadence sensor versus the I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, the cadence sensor just pretty much kicks in. It detects whenever you are pedaling. The other one I just remembered is the torque sensor, and you have to put in a little more effort for the motor to kick in. So you will get a lot better workout. However, if you're one of our seasoned citizens, you don't necessarily want to get that much of a workout. So in my particular case, I want to get a workout, but I don't want to have to work too hard for it. So most of the bikes come with a cadence sensor. So, but if you want a torque sensor, that's available as well. Now, I have a buddy that went through triple bypass surgery, and you know, they cracked him open and performed all kinds of things on his heart, and they got his condition corrected. You know, whatever it was that caused the triple bypass surgery to be needed, and now he is an absolute machine. After recovering, he went from about 300 pounds to down to around the 175, 180 pound level, and he mountain bikes, e-bikes, and hikes all over the place. He has a YouTube channel. You might want to look him up. I'll put a link in the description. But his YouTube channel's name is Captain Jeff. And he doesn't put out a lot of lengthy videos. Most of them are in the 1 to 2 minute category of his workouts and you know, the hike that he's on, or the mountain bike course that he's on. And but he puts out some interesting stuff, so I highly recommend that you look for him. But he is perfect proof that after a major heart problem, after getting it corrected, of course, you can do just about anything. Now, the other thing that I've touched on several times in my previous videos is where to buy it. You know, the big trend today is everybody buying them online or on Amazon, and that's all well and good. However, you need to be very careful about the brand that you buy from. Read all of the reviews, particularly the 1, 2, and 3-star reviews, and see what problems people are having. Now, most of the e-bikes are coming right out of China, and there's a lot of fly-by-night outfits out there, so you want to be very, very careful you want to stick to the brands that you see in the reviews on YouTube. And some of those are Aventon, Magic Cycle, U-Free, Rad, and some others. And that list is not by any means comprehensive, so check them out, look at the reviews before you do anything, and stick to the major brands. Like I said, you can buy from the major brands online, on Amazon, or better yet from their own websites, and that's all well and good. But I bought mine from a brick and mortar store. If you read some of those reviews on Amazon of some of the lesser known bikes, you'll see a lot of problems with parts availability, the bikes that come damaged in shipping, as well as parts just wearing out very soon after you get the bike. And then you call the 800 number or you email them, and it's pulling teeth to get anybody to respond to you. So rather than avoid all that, or rather than deal with that and to avoid it, like I said, stick to the major name brands. And if you want to, you know, buy from online. But again, if you have a problem, you're going to have trouble dealing with it. A lot of times when you buy a bike online, you're going to have a hard time finding a bicycle shop to work on it, because many times these small shops, they won't work on anything that they don't sell, even if it's a brand that they are a distributor for. So if you deal with a brick and mortar store, you got somebody to talk to, somebody to take it back to, as well as you get to test ride a variety of bikes and pick out the bike that is right for you, for your size and weight, and the kind of biking that you intend on doing. A big choice is 26-inch. Most of us have had 10-speed bikes when we were kids or younger, and a 26-inch e-bike is a very different animal. Most of these bikes are anywhere between 75 and 85 pounds, and then they're even heavier when you put all your accessories on them. And it's a lot to handle. If you're less than 5'7" or 5'8" in height, I wouldn't recommend a 26-inch bike. Now, to each his own. And if you get on one and you feel comfortable with it, that's fine, then go for it. But if you don't try it out, you'll never know. 20-inch bikes are much better for people that are shorter or lighter in weight, but that doesn't mean that somebody that's heavy or taller can't ride a 26 or 20-inch bike. But again, you want to get to the store, try out a variety of bikes, find something that is comfortable for you, and go for it. The other thing to consider is a step through versus a step over. Now, the step through is what we used to call girls' bikes, and the step over is the boys' bike. When I was shopping for mine, I sure as hell didn't want a girl's bike. But after, I didn't have any problem riding it on my test ride, but after getting out and riding and getting stiff and sore, I found that I had a real hard time lifting my leg over that seat and the bag that I had on the back of the rear rack. And that bag extended the height about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, which just made it all the more difficult. And I was dragging my leg over that bag when I was getting on and off the bike. And after going through this for a while, that girl's bike or step through didn't look nearly as feminine as I thought it would. And if I had to do it over again, I probably would have opted for the step through. Now, regarding the step through, because you don't have that bar going across the top when you stop and you have both feet on the ground, there's nothing holding up that bike if you don't have at least one hand on the handlebars. So that's another consideration, because this big heavy bike will fall over on you and probably take you with it if you're not cognizant of that and holding onto that handlebar to prevent it from falling over. Next is a motor size. Most of the motors are anywhere between 250 and 750 watts, with peak wattages of around 1,000 to 1,100 watts. Sometimes these sellers, they'll tell you that it's a 750 watt motor, but what it really is a 500 that peaks out at 750. So you need to read those reviews, read all the specs, and know what you're getting. Now, if you're only going to be biking, or if you're able to bike from your garage or your front door, and you're just going to be riding around your neighborhood, you don't have any big hills or anything, that 250 or 350 or 500 watt motor will probably be adequate. But if you're going to be riding any distance, going up hills, maybe over non-paved terrain, you're going to want that 750 watt motor that peaks out at over 1,000. But once again, if you're just going to be going short distances and you know, not really trying to get a big workout or anything, that lower wattage motor will probably do you just fine. Then next is the battery. If you're of any size and weight and you're going to be doing any distance and going up and down hills, then you're going to want the biggest battery that you can get, and that's in the neighborhood of 48 amps, and with 15 to 20 ampere hours. Anything less than that, you're going to have a hard time. If you're a big boy like me, you know, I'm close to 300 pounds. I definitely wanted that 48 watt and 15 ampere hour battery, and I could probably use more. All the manufacturers tell you what the range is, but that is under ideal conditions. My bike, an Aventon Adventure, that is Adventure rather than Adventure, it has 48 watts and 15 ampere hours, and they claim a range of 45 miles. And I recently did a ride where I used a combination of throttle and pedal assist. That was when I'm recording, like right now. I'm not pedaling, I'm just using my throttle, but that uses up a lot of battery power. But I went just over 20 miles, it was 20.4, and I used up 66% of the battery. So that only left 34%. And if I used pedal assist for the rest of that, I might have been able to get another 5 or 10 miles. But if I used throttle, I probably wouldn't have even made that. So consider the size of the battery. These lower priced bikes, you're going to be getting a smaller motor, lesser quality in the bike overall, and therefore you're going to have less range by having that smaller motor and the smaller battery. Which leads me to the next subject. In my previous videos, I talked a lot about battery fires. If you buy a cheap no-name bike that nobody's ever heard of, you're going to be getting a cheap remanufactured battery most likely, and you have a good chance of having a fire or an explosion. So again, go to the brick and mortar store, know what you're getting, or once you investigate all of the different manufacturers, if you need to buy online, then go ahead and do so, but you'll get a battery that's brand new and that's been certified by one of the inspection agencies like Underwriters Laboratories. Now my bike, the battery charger is listed on or is certified by Underwriters Laboratories, but the battery itself is certified by a European agency that's Swiss, and it's called SGS, but they're a major certifying lab, and they have a good reputation. So you may not see Underwriters Laboratories, but look at the logos that are on the battery and the charger, and you may have to do a Google search and find out who some of these agencies are. I think CE is the UK and SGS is Switzerland, so look for those. And I mentioned before, if you're going to be biking from your front door, that's great, so you won't have to buy a bicycle rack. But for these heavy e-bikes, the typical bicycle rack for a conventional bike just won't get it. These bikes are too heavy, so you're going to have a rack that is much better and more expensive. I have a Hollywood rack, and they go for right around $700. So if your budget can't handle that, then you're going to have to do something else. A lot of the 20-inch bikes are folding, and which doesn't make them any lighter, but it does make it so that you can put them in the back of your SUV. And so if you are if you have physical limitations, or if you're a smaller woman, you're going to have to lift that 70-pound bike up into the back of your car. So what a lot of people are doing is they're folding the bike up, and they seem to fit in a 50 or 55-gallon rubber tote. And so you can put the bike inside of that tote, and they buy a a collapsible or foldable pet ramp that people use to get their geriatric pets up into the back of their vehicles. And they put the ramp up, and they can push or pull the tote with the foldable bike inside of it up into the inside of the vehicle. And so I watched a video on this, and it looks like it works pretty good. But regarding the ramps, you know, if you're a older lady who's smaller in stature and you need to use a bike rack, well, those bike racks weigh in the neighborhood of 45-50 pounds. So just putting the rack on the back of your car or truck is going to be a chore. So you got to consider that. So if you're able to bike out your back door of your garage, then that's perfect. You don't have to worry about a rack or putting a bike up inside your vehicle that may be too heavy for you. But it's certainly things that you need to consider. Or hopefully you have a neighbor that can help you with it, or a significant other. But I think that is pretty much going to do our discussion on e-biking for seniors. It will get you out of your lazy boy, outside, and going to a lot of places that you can't go because of your physical limitations or just not being in good shape. You don't have to be in good shape to ride an e-bike, but it will definitely get you in good shape. And you're going to have a whole lot more fun while you're doing it. There's two videos I'll provide a link for. One is on whether or not you can get exercise, or they're both on whether or not you can get exercise from an e-bike. One's an older fat guy like me, and he did an interesting experiment on how much exercise you get with zero pedal assist versus levels 3 and 5. So I think you'll find it very interesting. I'll provide the link below. The other one is also on whether or not you can get exercise, and it comes from a guy that is a triathlete. And in the Ironman triathlons, they have to do a 112-mile bike ride. Once this guy tried an e-bike, he was absolutely sold. And the way that he described it is that he always hated his workouts, particularly when he went up this one particular hill, because it always kicked his butt, and he had a real hard time with it. It made the ride much less enjoyable. And so he finds now that he gets as good of a workout, if not a better workout, because he never gets to the point where he is totally exhausted. When he needs it, he can use the pedal assist and the electric motor to kick in and help him up that hill, or help him along. And again, as long as you are shifting gears and keeping the resistance up, you're getting an exercise, but the motor is helping you out, so it's not kicking your butt. But on that, look for these videos in the description below, and we'll see you next time. Remember to hit like and subscribe. That'll help us to develop this channel, and we'll keep putting out good content for you. Thanks a lot, and good luck in your search. We'll see you all next time.